put your mic on.
I'll tell you this, Bill. It can't be true unless he's taking a pro job. But, ladies and gentlemen, Saban, for some crazy reason, has announced his retirement at the University of Alabama as per today, and is going to. I reckon he's going to take it, but and I know with Detroit means something to him, but why would he want to go to Detroit?
He wants to have a chance to succeed in the NFL where he didn't really do well with the Miami Dolphins.
But why Detroit? The Detroit Lions.
Well, they're going to pay him $20 million.
And give him a brand new Mercedes every 6 weeks. Is that right? You know, somebody told me he's going to get a brand new Mercedes every week. I mean, every 6 weeks, and.
Well, it's the most shocking news of the year. I mean, we haven't confirmed it yet, but it seems like your sources are pretty good.
Well, you know what? Just be honest with you. I never have liked him much anyway. I never liked him much, and you know, if that's the way it's going to be, it's where it's going to be. But who in the world would want to come behind Saban, Nick Saban?
That's what they say. Well, the offensive coordinator that came from the Houston Oilers.
But he didn't have any kind of name for himself. Somebody told me Mike Shula again, and that Saban was going to call the shot on the head coach. You know, who returned. His contract reads $20 million a year for the next 5 years. That's $100 million that Saban's going to get to leave Alabama.
I can't believe Alabama didn't match it, but it is, as Saban always says, it is what it is. It had to happen someday.
And then it talked here about staff members he wants to go with him and all that stuff, and it's just mind-boggling. It really is.
Well, it's shocking news. But what a run he had! It didn't end like. I thought he was going to, if he would have coached one more year, he would have been at Alabama longer than any coach except Coach Bryant. I think Frank Thomas was also there 14 or 15 years. But
it's shameful. It is downright shameful, and I hated the way he did it. And didn't wait for spring practice to get over with,
I know. Who's going to finish spring practice?
I know it. And what are they going to do about a spring game? Well, before all of you start breaking your neck to get to the newspaper rack, April Fools.
April Fools.
April Fools. And we're all so happy. April Fools. He's going to stay.
April Fools.
I know it. I bet old Nick's been shaving. I can see old Nick over there shaving. He told a lie. He told a lie. And my first April Fool joke was a lie.
Well, Steve was the one that got us going. Steve Camp.
Yeah.
He passed through and said, "Well, y'all heard the big news, didn't you?" And he told us the big news, and then we decided to share it with the audience.
Yes, exactly. Did we do a good job? I don't know.
I couldn't help. I think I was smiling. You added some good touches, though. $20 million, Detroit. That's the one place you would never want to go as a football coach, just the Detroit Lions.
Exactly. I don't think you would either. Huh? Oh, I know he does.
He owns 2 Mercedes dealerships.
Now I'm having a hard time getting my mic on. And
that's where his, I assume that's where his son-in-law and daughter work.
You hadn't heard of him giving away any money lately. Usually at this time of year he starts giving away money to some one of his favorite charities. And
well, the staff must have got some of those bonuses because Alabama won the SEC. Yeah, don't you get a bonus for that?
Yeah.
They got to the playoffs. I think you get a bonus for that. They got to the national championship game. So they had enough money to go to Disney World or go to the beach if they wanted to.
I would think so. We were told on the show yesterday, and the day before yesterday, at the Atlas Corporation, you know, that beautiful
Alice
solid
Beach.
white condo down at the beach that they sold their last piece of property on the beach for $10 million.
Just the
just
property.
The basic property, just the lot. And,
well, I'm kind of surprised that it took them this long to sell their last piece of beachfront property. I guess they wanted to get their price, but you know, your son was right that is a really neat place. Beautiful, and I like that little stretch of beaches because they're all distinct. They all they all look different than the others, and they're just right next to each other. But but Nick Saban going to the Detroit Lions or staying at Alabama, he could have written the check and not thought anything about it, buying that piece of beach property at Alice Beach. Don't you think?
Yeah, about like the old average about a piece of a lakefront lot on in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, some people are beach people and some are lake people. He's a lake person, but his lake is not Lake Martin or Lake Jordan. It's Lake Burton, isn't it, in Georgia?
That's right. That's right.
I'd like to go see that lake. It must be really pretty.
The last time I saw it, it was it had mud all over the place. I mean, it wasn't even, they had let the water out, and it would look. It's not a pretty place when the water's down. Let's say that.
Oh.
And I don't know how often. You would think that Nick Saban would have a place that didn't do that. That you had.
I've seen a picture of it. It is nice. It's in North Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm glad he has it, and I wish he used it more. I think he goes over there about 2 weeks a year.
Yeah, I don't think he lives.
He'll probably go. When would he go? He'd go after spring training, right?
That's right. Maybe, but I don't believe he has had a week that he doesn't have to have something going on. But I'm gonna find out how to do this mic in a few minutes. Of course, we hope you're doing well today on a weekend full of baseball and spring football. A big scrimmage tomorrow morning at 10:30. So you want to get out there for it to see Coach and the boys as they start their second week or their second scrimmage of the season. And
I think if you just clip it on your, you don't have anywhere to clip it on.
Sure don't.
You have to put it up on your collar.
And of course,
well, I guess Mike's microphone's not on, so I'm just gonna have to talk all show for an hour and a half. Maybe I could get the phone book. You could just go through the phone book and just start reading out all the names.
Right.
Do they even have phone books anymore? That's
not many, but I depend on them a lot. I probably shouldn't, but I still look into.
The phone book used to be thick, and think of all the ads that were in the phone book. South Central Bell must have made all their money on the yellow pages of the phone book. Yeah. And now they're, what used to be, say the Montgomery phone book, used to be 200 pages of yellow page ads, probably 300. Yeah. Might be 50 now. Changing times. The only constant is change. It all went to the internet.
Exactly. I don't have
I don't think
I don't have a schedule for Troy softball, but if you haven't seen them play, you missed a treat. And I was down there for that Alabama. Not Alabama.
Ole Miss.
Well, I was out there for Ole Miss. We won that series, and then while you were in
at Orlando,
we had another big. We played second-ranked Florida State, and we got beat 12-1 by them.
Oh.
Boy, they're really good.
Here in Troy, though?
Yeah, in Troy. And,
was there a good crowd?
Yeah, well, it was an overwhelming crowd. It was the largest crowd in Troy softball history. It had to be.
If you're playing the number 2 team in your hometown, I hope so.
And it sure was. And they played good defensively. They didn't make a lot of errors, but you would thought the ball had eyes on it when they Florida State hit the ball. It was always through a gap or over somebody's head, you know.
I think Florida State beat Alabama early this year.
Oh yeah, they sure did. They're very good, no question about it. Of course, Alabama and Auburn are right in the middle of spring drills,
and Nick Saban is still the coach.
Yes, sir. He's still the coach, and they had McGill Tulin's Barry Downing was named Mr. Basketball, while Samaria Steele was named of Hazel Green was named Mrs. Basketball.
Tell you, Charles Anderson has a young player that might be a candidate for Mrs. Basketball next year. That point guard, Hobdy.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a good player. Really is.
And the Messenger yesterday, we saw a big story on Jones. What's it, Tootie Jones?
Yeah, Tootie. Yeah.
Tootie that is a star at Belmont College, which is a good basketball program.
I still say if she stayed in Troy, her mama could have watched her play a lot more. Because her mother's the very outstanding basketball coach.
Yeah, for selfish reasons, we all wish she would have.
Oh yeah, it's for selfish reasons, no question.
She gets to go where she wants to, and she's making the most of it, yeah, and that's what you do when you get an opportunity. You make the most of it, and she's doing it. And I bet she's probably doing well in school, and she's the leader on the basketball team, which is I think it was an NCAA basketball team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Very, very high honor. Of course, we look at the high school baseball and softball rankings right now, and you know who is number one in Class 1A. You know who? The Brantley Bulldogs.
Oh my gosh, Titletown.
that is in.
You know, they didn't win a state championship, but they were very good in football. They were very good in basketball.
Yeah, that's right.
And now they're very good in baseball. We got to say.
Yes, sir.
I went to Germany at Epcot Center. This is how they say it in Germany. Guten Morgen.
Morning.
Good morning, Mike. Amos, what's going on?
I had a real German beer when I went to the German village at Epcot Center.
Michael, I reckon you heard about the big news, man.
Are you stunned?
I have not heard anything. What's going on?
All over with $20 million a year.
$20 million is all it took to get Nick Saban to go back to the NFL.
Detroit, Mike. I mean, can you believe Saban would leave and go to Detroit?
It's April Fool's Day.
No, Michael, it's not. Michael, it's not.
Dang, your son's too smart.
Yeah,
too smart boy.
It's actually my niece Macon's birthday today.
Right.
Your granddaughter.
My granddaughter Macon, and I'd love to hear from her this morning. And I know she's having a big time. She's at the beach and having a big time.
Yeah, she went from Panama City Beach to Ono Island. She's had a real tough spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she'll probably go from Panama City Beach to Ono Island, then to Grayton Beach.
She must know somebody. My daughter must know somebody that's rich if they went to Ono, you know.
Well, I feel bad about my advice yesterday. Texas A&M was up by 8 at the half, and looked like they were going to cruise to another victory. But man, Xavier, interim coach, comes back and wins with the buzzer.
Oh boy!
Last night.
What
a great run by Texas A&M though, to not get an NCAA bid and then blow out everybody until that championship game up in New York.
Well, they were up by 8 at halftime, so there you go.
What was the most they got up, Mike, in the second half?
They were up by 10 in the first half, but you know, I didn't get to watch much of it. I had stuff going on with the girls. We had other stuff going on, so I only caught like the tail end of it. But
Mike,
they had a shot at the buzzer that went in and out.
Oh my God!
Oh, that was something. Steve Kemp looks like he's going to win the racket.
The racket. It is the bracket.
It is a racket.
Yeah, it was a racket this year.
Well, he's the only one that of the bunch that was.
Well, I got to look at his. He almost certainly won it, unless he just was bombed on all the other games, because he's the only one of all of us that was me, you, Michael, and Will, and Steve, 5, 6 people. He's the only one that had anybody that made it to the Final Four. He had Kansas.
That would almost automatically give him the title.
Yeah, because here was my point system. I came up with the point system.
Good.
You got 1 point for every team you picked right in the first round. You got 2 points for every game you picked right in the second round.
Yeah.
It keeps doubling. Have you noticed the trend here?
Yeah.
Then you get to the Sweet 16, which is the third round. If you had teams correctly in the Sweet 16, you got 4 points.
Yeah.
Then if you had teams in the Elite 8, you got 8 points. That's good. Well, then you really start picking up points. If you got a team correct in the Final Four, there are only 4 of them, you got 16 points. So Steve got at least 16 points.
Yeah.
Bill, Mike, Michael, and Will got 0 points.
Oh boy.
That's why.
I had 10 teams left in the Sweet 16, but then after that, I only had 1 team left in the Elite 8. That's how bad it was for me.
Oh, so you just you were looking good at the Sweet 16, but all your teams bombed in the Elite 8 game.
Well, we're not.
Yeah, I had Gonzaga, Texas Tech, UCLA, Kentucky, Arizona, Tennessee, Kansas, and Auburn.
Sounds like my
My Elite
bracket.
8.
If UCLA would have made it through, that would have helped me. And then I had Auburn. I thought Kansas.
Breaking news in high school football, Jamie DeBose, who's been on the show a few times before, he was the Charles Henderson coach for spring, has decided he was done coaching in Georgia and wanted to get closer to home in Alabama, so he is now the new head coach at Orange Beach High School.
Oh, now he'll love that, won't he? I tell you, I love old Jamie, and he finds good places to go. I'll tell you that. And,
so he left Valdosta, Georgia, where he's been coaching the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But makes sense. In the article, it mentions his dad just passed away at 75, and his mom lives in Op. So he wanted to get close.
Yeah, that's right. That's where the Duboses are from, is Op.
Is he kin to Mike Dubose?
Yeah, his cousin. Yeah, he is the actually Mike DeBose still is the head coach at Op High School. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think so. So, you know.
Yeah, Jamie DeBose resigned from Lowndes in Georgia.
One of the top schools in the state of Georgia, and boy, they got a lot of them.
Did he do well in Georgia?
I think he did. Yeah.
You know, I think he did pretty well. I've not seen his record, but yeah, I think it's one of those things where his wife also, it says in the article, needed two more years to get retirement from the state as well.
Yeah,
so.
From the state of Alabama. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that plays a lot into it. There's retirement. If you get your retirements right, you can be pretty comfortable, can't you?
That's right.
Now this inflation is kind of eating away into a lot of people's retirement right now, but a lot of people have got 1 or 2 retirements, and then they've got Social Security, then they've got their own investments. It's worked out. That's good. I mean, it works out that people can be fairly comfortable and content in their retirement years.
I'm scanning over some of the rankings in high school softball, and as we mentioned, Brantley leads in 1A with a 12-5 record. Also, G.W. Long 9-4.
What about Goshen? They ought to be ranked.
Let's see. I know the boys are ranked. The boys are having a heck of a year in baseball, and I tell you, A-Band has done a great job with their program. And but G.W. Long is ranked 6th in Class 2A. And I was just looking for some down home folks. Geneva always is good, and they're 9-4 in 4A. But a lot of North Alabama teams.
What is Goshen? 3A or 2A?
There are actually 3A. No, 2A now. It went back, I think. Right now in baseball, well, I don't know.
They're not ranked in 2A. Are they in 3A?
Well, they've got a great record right now.
What about the Charles Simpson girls? Are they ranked? I haven't even heard anything about them. I thought they were going to be pretty good this year.
They're again, there's just so many North Alabama teams up here, and Charles Simpson, yes,
they're also getting votes.
You're right. They have the record's 14-9.
If it went down to the top 12, Charles Simpson would be in it.
Yeah, and but again, we're looking at the baseball standings, and I know Goshen has got to be somewhere near in the top 10. We'll find it. Opp is 16-4 in Class 3A.
That's pretty good. And what about AISA?
All right, this is one of the only sports I think that Pike Liberal Arts does not excel in. I don't see them in the top, or even rated in the top 10
in softball.
In softball. that would be.
In the past, they've had some good softball teams.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have, but they are not ranked in the top 10.
Baseball record is 7-3, 2-0 in the league. Is what I'm saying.
Who is that?
Goshen's 7-3,
yeah, okay.
2-0 in their area.
Okay, they're having a good year.
I don't know how they've only played 10 games though.
Yeah, that's low. All right, Pike Liberal Arts is number 1 in baseball, not surprisingly. Pike Liberal Arts has lost 3 games and tied 1, so they can be beat.
Yeah, yeah. They're 19-3.
I don't know if they've been beat by anybody from Alabama though.
Well, Macon East.
All losses are from teams out of state. Macon East beat them.
No, but Macon East, they must have something, because Macon East is 22-2.
Well, look down to number 7. Glenwood is 23-4.
Yeah.
Why is Glenwood only number 7?
I don't know.
Glenwood should be number 2. Glenwood, Pike beat Glenwood 5-4 by 1 run. So Pike's going to have to get past Glenwood.
Yeah.
Are they in the same? Are they 3A too?
Oh yeah, they're 3A. Yeah. And Glenwood's got a good team, no question.
Well, they got a great tradition in baseball.
Yeah, but Pike is again 19-3 and lead the AAIA.
One thing we're happy, we never have been able to say AISA. But then again, they're moving to the AHSAA. Both of them are tongue twisters.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Alabama High School Athletic Association is not easy to say.
I'm looking at high school 5A. Greenville is rated number 10, and you don't see Charles Henderson anywhere around in the rankings. They've got Rehoboth is ranked number 7, and that's in Class 5.
Well, I think it's baseball season. I didn't play high school baseball. You did.
Oh yes, sir.
I wasn't good enough to make the team, although I thought I was pretty good, but by the time I got to high school, I just knew those guys were better.
And I played in a program that they really emphasized baseball. I mean, there was not a fence down the left field line, and there's a big old clay pit down the right field line. We didn't even have a fence. There were weeds all over our infield. That was back in
Did y'all play Hogan's Hole?
1965.
Same place?
65. Yeah, that was it. And later on, of course, they really have started emphasizing baseball in Troy.
Well, you got to say the facilities were not great in retrospect, but I saw every game for 4 years played at Charleston because I was the official scorekeeper.
Okay,
I was in the press box.
Yeah, that
keeping
was a
the books.
Good job, yeah.
And I'll tell you who it was up there. There were 3 of us up there. Brett Gibson kept the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Scott Rainey was the PA announcer. Bill Rice Jr. was the, and so we had so much fun up there.
We would chew
tobacco and drink our Mountain Dews and laugh and look at people and every afternoon.
Funny, Rice, I sat up there and called the games too, or did
You did?
the batters. Yeah, I did that. Coach Jeffco got me to do it my junior and senior year.
It's fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got to see every game and you know the players, and man, we were the biggest fans. But I could tell some funny stories about stuff that happened.
I I had a good time because it was always fun when Meadows pitched. Got to watch all those games.
Ooh, you got to see all of Brian Meadows' best years.
Yeah.
God, was he unhittable in high school?
Yeah, a little.
I think his senior year, his earned run average was like 1.1 or something.
So somebody scored a run on him.
Yeah, he had the legs for it. A big old long-legged guy that could throw it.
And he had such an easy delivery. You know, it didn't even look like he was working hard at all. It just looked so laid back,
His
casual.
total demeanor was probably, and I think I've said this over and over, Mike, that his demeanor, I believe, is what made it to the major leagues. He just did not let things bother him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so did you head up journalism? Did you write for the Trojan Myth in the high school?
I had the Trojan Myth sports for 2 years.
You were the sports editor?
Oh yeah.
I bet you were a good one. I
thought Rice. Did you do it too?
Yes.
I wrote for the Trojan Myth too.
That was fun.
And I don't know why
I
we
think
did
it's
it.
gone away, but that was a great fun. I did it for 3 years. I followed my brother, who was on the paper staff. He wrote a column in a cartoon, the Trojan Myths, and he got a lot of positive affirmation for his funny, good columns.
Yeah.
I liked that, and I said, "Ooh, I like that. Your people will come up to you and say, I enjoyed your article."
Yeah.
And so that's why I got into journalism. I wanted to be like Rush, and I wanted to be like Louis Grisard. That was the famous.
Well, I had a column, and I don't know why we got it this way because it's really turned around. But it was called "Inside the Trojan Horse." Was the name of the column was "Inside
Every
the Trojan
paper
Horse."
you had a column.
That's right, and it's still, you know, you can go back and you'll find them.
Well,
and let me tell you this. I'll tell you how good I was. I was the first person that Miss Leon Hillier ever gave a honorary Quill and Scroll Award. A honorary. It is because she couldn't get my grades up enough to give me a full award. But I did. I was good enough to get an honorary Quill and Scroll Award.
That was like the Academic Honor Society for journalists.
And the girl, Mary Holman Johnson, sat right next to me, a real pretty gal and sweet. And she helped me do my homework and whatever.
Who was the journalist? Who was the instructor?
Miss Hillier was the person. She was excellent. She was excellent.
Bobby Swisher was it when I was in school, and she was excellent. Loved Miss Swisher.
We had Robert Lewis.
Yeah, I bet he was good.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He was good at landscaping and cutting grass too.
Yeah, he was great. He was the scorekeeper and statistician for the football team when we won the state championship.
He coached the kickers too.
Well, you know what he does now? He drives the bus for Trailways and.
Does he?
Yeah, he goes everywhere. Yeah, he has a good time with it.
Well, his mother, Martha Lewis, was our librarian at Charles Simpson High School, and I was on the library staff for just about every year in high school. So one class I had journalism, which was really we worked hard when we had to put out a paper. Otherwise, we played and had fun. And then library, I would go to the library every day and file a couple of books once every couple of weeks, but basically I just did all the homework I hadn't done the night before in the library.
Rice and I lived the same life. I had a library as well. I was a student aide in the library, and then I had advanced PE. And so I only had like 4 classes to go through during the day.
We had 6 classes, and then 6th period was football, which but I was on the journalism staff. You couldn't be on it as a freshman, so I was on it for 3 years. Started writing the column as a sophomore. As a junior, I was the sports editor, Mike.
Yeah, I was a sports editor.
No, take that back. As a junior, I was the editorial page editor, so I wrote the op-eds. And then as a senior, Ed Black and myself were the editors. We were the co-editors, which that's continued a family tradition because when my mom was in high school, she was the editor of the high school newspaper. But I love
Yes, sir. We got to make.
It's sad to me that they don't have a school newspaper anymore.
Watch for Mike.
Good morning.
Good.
How y'all recording?
Hey, good morning. Who is this? This is Bill Rice. Who are we talking to?
Max.
Hey, Max. How you doing, man? How you getting along?
I'll tell you something. Hey, did y'all see that Will Matthews put out that Coach Saban retires tomorrow?
Oh, yeah,
We've already
yeah.
done it too. Like, that's the lamest.
My phone started jumping off the hook about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. We had something going on, but we didn't get quite the
I think
press
that's
coverage you
everybody's April Fools, and we did it for about 2 minutes on air. And I was trying to keep from grinning.
Thanks, how long, good friend.
Most of my callers were just wishful thinkers.
Think. You know, one thing about you, Max, you got a sound mind, and none of us have very much of a sound mind.
Hey, let me.
We did that when I was in Atlanta, Mike. We had whoever was head coach of the Falcons or Georgia. We had them leaving, and you'd be surprised that the people in that market would just bite in a heartbeat. They come. Some of them came down to the station and wanted to know where we got all the information from. I mean, it was hilarious. As soon as I read that this morning, I didn't turn around and text Will back, but I texted 2 or 3 of my buddies to alert them that that was happening.
Well, you know, I probably made it too. I said $20 million a year, but of all places, he's going to the Detroit Lions. Well, and so when I said Detroit Lions, then
I think everybody said
messed it up because nobody be crazy enough to go to the Detroit Lions.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Max. I guess you graduated from Prattville High School?
Yes, I did.
Did y'all have a school newspaper?
No, I don't believe we did.
No,
I don't think. Yeah, you got to remember they hardly have typewriters.
Well, Troy High School, when Mom and Dad graduated, they had a school newspaper in 1957.
The Trojan Myth. It was called the Trojan Myth.
Here's a trivia question for the audience. Where do you get the name Myths from? The Trojan Myths? Think about it.
I don't know.
From mythology.
Mythology, yeah.
Well, I guess that's a pun, but I can't believe this. All these people were on the staff. Myths. MYTHS.
Yeah.
My Troy High School.
Okay.
I never knew that.
Mike,
That's where you get the name Trojan Myths from.
Max, we haven't heard from you lately, but I'm sure you've heard some news of somebody or somewhere.
Well, you know, I just picked up this morning Jamie Dubose, one of the leading head coaches in Alabama. He was at Prattville. Was over in Phoenix City. Went over to Valdosta, Georgia, stayed 2 years. He just resigned yesterday. He's going to Orange Beach.
Oh yeah,
football coach.
He's not
That'll be a big
dumb.
job for you.
Hey, Max, I saw where one of your former players at FSU, Deion Sanders. Did y'all read this? That he almost had his leg amputated because of these terrible blood clots, and eventually they had to amputate 2 toes.
Yeah.
But he's had a terrible health ordeal.
So that would have, if he'd have had that done, Bill, when he was playing, that would have cut his speed from 4.25 to 4.3.
Yeah, I know it. Well, what have you been keeping up with, Max? I know you've been cooking a lot, and you've been having a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? We've been good. I've had 2 instances. 2 nights ago, tornadoes come within 5 or 6 miles of my house.
Oh man!
I mean, we had over 50 tornadoes in the state of Mississippi 2 nights ago.
I knew some bad weather over there. You're right.
Yeah, and now they predicted again coming up this next week on Tuesday. Same fronts coming back through again. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's tornado season.
What it is, in particular where we are, we're in the northeast corner.
Yeah.
We get those fronts coming out of the west and northwest, and then the warm air coming up from the Gulf, and they collide right about Tupelo.
You're in that same alley that Tuscaloosa's in. They always get a bad weather.
Yeah. We're about 35, 40 miles north on a parallel from Tuscaloosa.
Wow.
We even further north in Birmingham. If you draw a line straight across, we're almost even to Huntsville on a line straight across between the 2 states. But the weather's been bad. Of course, we had some 80. Well, I know a couple of days it was 80 degrees this day. It got 25 at night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, crazy stuff. stuff going on right now. But anyway,
looks like Greenville coach Dad just the administration has asked Josh McClendon to step down too. So the Greenville head coaching job.
And his dad is the mayor. You know, I don't know how he's able to do that.
His dad's the mayor. He went 48-31. His overall record as a coach is 66-36. Not a bad record.
I tell you what, and lately he's had real good teams. I don't know what happened there unless they.
I tell you what, Greenville High School would be a great job for somebody. They got some unbelievable athletes for that school.
Yeah, and a beautiful. I mean, it's a brand new school. They got an indoor facility and everything. You know.
Wow.
That's where Will Matthews' brother Warren, my friend, lives.
High school football, though, guys, in this part of the country is unbelievable. I pulled up some numbers recently, I believe, and look at it, particularly in Alabama. I think there's 38 football coaches in the state of Alabama make over $120,000 a year.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I remember my first coach, guys, the first job I got. I came right out of Troy, took a high school coaching job. I took a teaching job, and I coached the junior high team the first year out. 1 year, I did that for $300 a month. But I can go back to when I came to Troy. I was coaching at Bay High in Panama City, and took $1,000 a year cut to come to Troy.
And you
1965.
also went to Carroll High of Ozark 1 year, didn't you?
But 2 years at Carroll, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I left there, went to Bay High for 1 year, and then on to Troy. So I mean, that's the economic situation, the education's gone tremendously. The state of Mississippi, for the first time in the history, just voted yesterday $5,100 a year raise for every teacher in the state of Mississippi.
Wow, I wish they did that in Alabama.
How much?
5,100.
5,100.
Oh man.
That's great. Yeah, teachers should make.
Well, they had to do it. Yeah, all the teachers that graduated from Ole Miss State were going to other states.
Yeah.
Because they were the lowest paid teachers in the country.
Man.
And of course, Alabama.
Teachers earn their money. I'll say that.
Yeah.
No doubt about that, Michael. I guarantee you they are.
Man.
Well, and then coaches have always been extremely underpaid in high school. When you think about all the hours they put in and how important they are to the school and to the town, you would argue that I would say the high school football coach, he's more important than the superintendent of education.
Some places, I
should
bet
be.
you walk through the halls of Enterprise, Alabama, you know who's the boss.
Who's gonna influence more people, the superintendent or the guy that's coaching 80 kids every day?
Max, I'll tell you something that you won't see much of. You know, spring sports are very important to more or less all schools. You know, all the different sports activities and everything. But everybody looks for ways to get their spring training done and all that. You know, the spring training, I really believe, is starting to fold, and but mainly because they now let the coaches come and go on the field now the first week of June. Why have a spring practice when you got that?
Well,
true. They tried, Mike. They tried that one time before, way back. I want to say, Coach Bryant had just maybe come to Alabama back in the late 50s, early 60s. They tried to do away. The education department tried to do away with spring training. Now that was before they allowed anything to happen like 7-7 and all that.
Yeah, that's right.
The college coaches went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They got to change right back because that was the time they got the chance to, go on the road to evaluate for the next year's recruiting class. So that's kind of been a theory all along. However, as you pointed out, there's some opportunities for them to work on. Look, when I was at Scambia in Pensacola, the summer school session, the kids got academic credit for coming to work out for weights and practice. They got a half a credit during the summer academically to do football. And of course, it was all that year, last year, before I went to Florida State, we had even that bunch. We had 19 Division I players. I mean, it was like a small college team. We had 9 football coaches. None of us taught academic classes. It was all it was in the weight room or driver's ed or something like that. So it's been around for a while at that level, but some of the smaller schools don't get that opportunity to have that kind of program. put in.
Yeah.
It's very fortunate you got that kind of athlete.
Well, Max, we mentioned this earlier this week. It's official now that Marshall, Old Dominion, Southern Miss, and James Madison will actually enter the Sun Belt Conference this year, which is huge news for Troy because that means their schedule will actually not have to change. But you got to think now with all these teams in the Sun Belt, this has got to be the best non-Power 5 conference.
I agree. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think, when that was first rumored, as we talked a little bit about it, I think I was coming on once a week with you then. The first thing Troy's got to do is up the recruiting. If they got to go to the portals to pull in, 4, 5, 6 guys every year, they need to do that. Guys, it's all about competition on Saturday. Yeah. It doesn't matter about the image and all that, how many you graduate. If you can't win on Saturday, you're not going to draw the crowd. You're not going to draw the athletes. And your program just going to stay mediocre. So in fact, I'm getting ready to leave, coming to Troy this afternoon, and I'll be there tonight and all day tomorrow.
You coming to Troy?
Yeah. So I'll get a chance to meet John and the rest of the staff. Caleb Ross is the on-campus recruit.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. And he was at Prattville the first 3 years. I used to drive when he first came. I drove from Tupelo to Prattville to go to a quarterback club meeting on Monday night. So I've still got a really, really big interest in.
But now T-Day, the T-Day is the next week, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a practice tomorrow.
No, Dad, T-Day is not until the 23rd.
Oh, okay, all right.
Tomorrow's a bit. Yeah, they having a bunch of. In fact, I talked to Judy Morgan yesterday. She said they had over 100 people signed up to come in tonight for a big Friday night. And, of course, breakfast with them in the morning and get a chance to watch them practice real well.
Well, I will be there eating
What
fish.
time is the practice for the scrimmage? I might want to go watch that, too.
I think it's 12. I think it's right around.
No. I think I know what I'm talking about. I think it's 10:30.
Oh, is it? Good.
10:30, yeah. And
yeah, we're trying to figure out if Troy has the numbers to really get any guys out of the portal right now. Though, Max, I was looking at their roster. They brought in about 5 or 6 guys, but most of them were 1AA guys that were, the guys they brought in. I think they got 1 or 2 Division I transfers, maybe a couple guys from UAB, but I don't know if some are all, unfortunately, maybe for him, I don't know if he can bring many guys in.
I agree with you. Let
me explain to you something, guys. When spring training is over, you got to remember those scholarships are 1 year at a time.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Look for some people to leave, after spring training.
Yeah.
I promise you that. And the numbers will come available.
Yeah. And like you said,
that's why I try to tell Dad all the time. I mean, nothing against these guys we got, but I mean, we're coming off 3 straight losing seasons. I wouldn't mind maybe bringing in some new blood.
Well, you got to open up with Ole Miss. By the way, I'll be in the press box for that one in Oxford.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good opening.
Well, maybe we'll see. We're talking about Will's going to take us all over there for that game that weekend.
I think it'll draw a good crowd. I really do. Of course, Troy's got a great record on the road. Playing teams like that. You call Ogeron down at LSU and ask him when Neil was at Troy how lightly they took Troy. And that was the last.
I'll tell you what, Neil might have made the wrong move going to West Virginia, though. I think I don't think he can win there.
Well, you can't. I mean, it's hard to recruit. It's almost, I hate to say, it's almost like Arkansas in this league. You're isolated off in the mountain area. You can't get a lot of kids to come. I mean, it's just consistency. And we've talked about that before. You can compete with 25 or 30 guys. You're not going to win championships unless you got 40 or 45 guys that can play. If you can't, at schools like that, you can't get 45.
And your mascot is a coon dog, Your Marcel Ledbetter is your drum major.
He's a Mountaineer.
He's a Mountaineer that has a coon dog for a buddy.
Yeah. Marcel Ledbetter is the head coach.
Max, who's going to win the Arch Manning sweepstakes? Is he going to Alabama or Texas, Ole Miss, LSU? Where's he going?
If I had to bet today, I'd say Alabama.
Yeah.
He's in Tuscaloosa today, I believe.
you know what,
Right,
Max, and I know they know so much more than I do, but I've watched him play a little bit, on TV. I wasn't totally impressed. Now that's just my eyes, but I know he's pretty. But just
he's too
not,
hyped. I mean,
I
watched him as a sophomore, and I thought, well, he's really good for a sophomore. I didn't watch him any last year. You apparently did.
Well, I watched him play high school football, and another thing, that's private school football too. That has a lot to do with it.
Well, best I remember, that's where Pike and Eli both came from.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
I think it's one of these private schools that plays in the public school league. It's good football.
Yeah.
Well, here's what he's got, guys. He's 6'5" and weighs 220, and he's 17 years old.
Yeah.
He can run. He runs about a 4.55.
Gosh.
Can run and throw. That's what they're counting on. If they get him to the next level, the coach can get him on as far as his release and read defenses, and that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah.
They know he'll be an NFL prospect. Of course, he's got to perform when he gets to the college level.
Yeah.
But he's got more. I tell you what, guys, he's got more publicity than anybody else ever come out of that family, including Archie.
Yeah, as a high school kid, no doubt about it.
But again, he does not come out of a rich football tradition. I mean, in the private schools, I mean, he's.
No. Well, Mike, remember that's a 2A school in New Orleans.
Yeah.
How much do you hear about in those schools?
I know it. Yeah. Well, we'll be. Well, I did not know that you were coming to town this weekend. We probably need to go somewhere and eat breakfast tomorrow morning.
I think we're going to eat with a team in the morning, Mike. They invited to come in and eat with us. But I'm going to be around. I'm getting ready to get in the car in just about 15 minutes.
Good.
Yeah,
And I'm going to stop and travel and visit with some friends, but I'm going to be down there about 2 o'clock.
Call us back next week and give us your impressions of what you saw around the program.
I'll be glad to.
Come by and see us.
Yeah, we
A great day and happy April Fools.
All right, Max.
All right, we'll see you later.
see you, Mike.
I'll see you soon.
We're talking about the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Yeah.
When you think of West Virginia, what do you think of? Probably Nick Saban.
I think of the great song Rocky Mountain High. No,
yeah.
West Virginia.
Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always
think of,
be home, sweet home to me.
Loretta Lynn and Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yeah. She
Now-
pulled my hair. You remember that?
Well, I'm going to tell my Coal Miner's Daughter story. On my way back from Disney World, we stopped at a Cracker Barrel near Gainesville, and they had a 25-minute wait, and so we were in the store killing time, and I looked to have some CDs, and one of them was these classic country hits, all-time greatest country hits.
Yeah.
Like some Johnny Cash songs and Waylon Jennings and on down Patsy Cline, and one of them is Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to get this because I want some old-fashioned, real country music. And we got a CD player, and we listened to it on the way back. It's 2 discs, so it's about 38 songs. I listened to all of them, and they were all great country songs. Glenn Campbell has Rhinestone Cowboy on there. Hank Jr. had a song on there. His daddy, Hank Sr. But you know what I think the best country song on that whole dang album was? Coal Miner's Daughter.
Yeah.
That is a great.
Yeah, what a great
That's
song.
old, real country right
And
there.
that movie
It's so good. Sissy Spacek nailed it.
Sure
buddy.
was. That's right. No question
I
about
like to
it.
watch that show. It's called Mysteries at the Museum.
Yeah.
I can't remember what channel it's on, maybe History or Discovery, but they're talking about the coal miners back in the day, back in Great Britain, were dying in the coal mines from carbon monoxide poisoning. And some scientists came up with an idea that you would have bird cages. You would take canaries into the coal mines, because apparently canaries would be affected by carbon monoxide poisoning before a human would realize it. But once the canary passed out, they would know to get out of the mine.
Oh, gosh.
And apparently that's something they used apparently like up until the 70s, like in West Virginia, it was very prevalent as well. That you would take a bird, a canary, into the coal mine.
Oh, well, that is there is a
to prevent deaths from carbon monoxide. I was fascinated that a scientist could come up with that idea.
Oh boy!
You never heard that? That's a common expression, the canary in the coal mine, for that reason. It talks about an early warning signal. It symbolizes an early warning signal.
Oh gosh! I never heard
you saw Sting in concert. Well, one of the Police's best rockers is a song called "Canary in the Coal Mine."
Let's go on break. We'll be right back to continue this conversation about the canary right after this.
I love this.
Big discount, big selection, over 140 pre-owned vehicles, and really big deals. It's the big sale, only at Premier.com. From Montgomery to Delton, the best used car prices are at Premier. Save thousands during our spring break sale. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal.
Nobody. I mean, nobody beats a Premier deal. Dodge, Chrysler, and Ram trucks in Troy, Alabama. They're dealing like you would not ever deal before or see a deal like these. Great deals are going on at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks in Troy, Alabama.
If you got a tax refund, I guess some people are still getting. I haven't done my taxes. I heard you just.
You can always tell who is going to get money back with the people that did it right first.
They're smart. Go ahead and get it.
You can tell those are the ones that are going to get money back.
I should have done it. I don't know if I'm going to get a tax refund or not, but. I should have done it early because I would have had some extra spending money on my trip to Disney World.
That's right.
April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Yeah, you were talking about April Fool's Day and
we're talking about Canary in a Coal Mine, which is
Mike.
And I'm talking about Coal Miner's Daughter being the best country, perhaps the best country music song of all time, especially the best female. Maybe a couple of Patsy Clines would be in the running.
Well, let me tell you this. Who played her husband in Coal Miner's Daughter?
What's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones.
You know what? Let me tell you something. He is one of the best actors. You know, he doesn't ever get many leading roles, but he is a great actor. I like him. You know something about him? Do y'all know anything about him? Where he went to school?
I think he went to Harvard or Yale.
No.
Yeah,
no. Bump.
He was a college football player.
Yes, sir. He sure was. He played college football for.
He went to an Ivy League school.
No, he did not.
With Al Gore.
He did not go to the Ivy League school.
Who am I thinking of?
Tommy Lee Jones is the right guard for.
No, you're thinking about Jerry Jones, Dad.
No, Michael.
You're thinking about the comedian.
No, I'm thinking of Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones played football at Harvard.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, all right. Did he play at Harvard? I didn't realize that.
I think he was a buddy of Chris Christopherson.
All right, they've already got all this information down on the computers, and
you would
he played guard at Harvard from 1965 to 1968. He was a member of Harvard's undefeated 1968 football team. He was named first team All Ivy League selection and played in the 1968 game. The game featured a memorable last-minute Harvard 16-point comeback to tie Yale. He recounted his memory of the most famous football game in Ivy League history in a documentary, Harvard Beats Yale 29-29.
Not only did he play football, sounds like he was a very good football player. How about that?
He's actually a lot bigger guy. You think he is? He's 6'1", 200.
Yeah.
God,
I tell you what,
one of the best miniseries, in my opinion, ever is Lonesome Dove, and
he's great in Lonesome Dove.
And he played Woodrow McCall.
Yeah,
one of the main characters.
Woodrow, yes sir. He was a bad dude. You're right.
Robert Duvall sold the movie with his Gus was the main character.
And yeah, you're right. Duvall is a great actor too. And
mostly, he's great. He's great in Next Country for Old Men, which is one of the best movies of all time to me.
It is. Yeah. I agree with that. It is great. That is the Coen brothers. That are some of my favorite writers and directors. Man, they have some great movies. They did Fargo. They did Raising Arizona. They did the Great Lebowski, and they did that one too.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, Tommy Lee Jones has been in some good movies. He's good in JFK too.
I'll tell you when he was.
Well, he was one of his biggest hits was the Men in Black with Will Smith, who we have talked about a lot recently.
Do you know I don't even believe I've ever watched that show.
It sounds like Will Smith does not need to mess with Tommy Lee Jones.
I don't know now. Will looked pretty.
Well, Will played Muhammad Ali, so he's got that boxing background.
He hit him with a left hand. He hit him and hurt him with a left hand.
Tommy Lee Jones is actually a year older than you, Dad. He's 75.
No way is he as old as I am.
I think, you can check it, but I think that he was roommates or buddies or went to college with Al Gore. And I want to say that Chris Christopherson might have been in there too, or he went to an Ivy League school too.
That's right. He was roommates with Al Gore.
He was. Tommy Lee was.
At Harvard.
Isn't that amazing?
Small world.
Of course, Gore was he was a Tennessee guy.
Yeah, his daddy was Al Gore's daddy was a U.S. senator.
Yeah. But
I don't know what happened to Al Gore. He was kind of a moderate conservative Democrat in his early Senate days. Yeah. I remember he ran for president, didn't win. Then he was picked as Bill Clinton's running mate, and then he found his fame when he became one of the leaders of the global warming environmental movement. I really date it back to when I think he wrote a book called An Inconvenient Truth about the climate change. Yeah. But that's what he's known for today.
Those two actors, Tommy Lee and what was the other Jones actor?
Well,
Tommy Lee and he played in several good.
Chris Christopherson, that I think was there too, is a very good actor who's had a lot of good parts, but he's also just as well known as a country singer and songwriter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like one of my favorite country musicians, arguably of all time, is Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I like that.
But one of Johnny Cash's greatest hits is a song called Sunday Morning Coming Down. I woke up Sunday morning and the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. That is a great song. You know who wrote that song? Chris Christopherson.
Yeah, well, he was a great songwriter, really. No question. Yeah.
He also wrote Me and Bobby McGee.
Did he really?
Yeah, Janis Joplin song.
Yeah.
We were on the way down to Disney World, and my wife had it on some greatest hits Spotify channel, and that was one of the ones that we listened to.
I'll never forget this. Mom and Dad were nice, and for Camille and I 30th birthday, the twins, the Amos twins, the mom and dad went to New York, and we stayed in Times Square. And I was a big Conan O'Brien fan, and Conan O'Brien's musical guest there that night was Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
Yeah.
You know, Chris Christopherson probably doesn't need to work, not because of his acting career or performing, but the royalties he gets on some of these big hit songs he's written. You know, because the writer gets most of the royalties on those songs.
Look, I'm getting mixed up with my Tommy Lee Jones. You got Tommy Lee Jones, the actor who played in what I always was one of my favorite. What was it? With A Great Escape. What was that movie?
Oh, you might be thinking of the
no.
Come on, Steve McQueen?
No.
Kurt Russell?
No, Tommy Lee Jones played in what
he played in.
You talking about Tom Jones?
No, listen, Tommy Lee Jones when he
Whoa, she's a lady.
No, I love him too.
All right, we'll turn it up. You ought to.
I want to hear that song. That is, if you want to get a greatest hit CD, you get Tom Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah.
So if he's a lady, even today when I clean up the house, I'll crank that one up.
Who played? Who did y'all tell us now that played at Harvard?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. All right, what is the? Oh gosh.
You've got somebody on your mind. Didn't you?
I sure do. That remind me so much of each other. It's Tommy Lee Jones, isn't it?
No, he wasn't in The Great Escape.
One of my favorite shows is The Escape.
I don't know. There was Escape from New York, which
no.
Now, Tommy Lee Jones was in The Fugitive, Dad.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's what you're searching for.
All right, who played the lead role in The Fugitive?
He did. Well, no. Harrison.
All right, see, that's what I was getting at. Okay, now Harrison Ford, but Tommy Lee Jones. I thought he portrayed. I liked him. His portrayal of that detective.
It was great. He was the marshal that was going after the fugitive.
You know, I don't get tired of watching.
That's a very good movie.
That's one movie I don't get tired of watching.
It holds up, doesn't it?
You're right. It sure was.
I saw one of the highlights to me of my trip to Disney World was not a ride, but a live stunt performance recreating some of the famous scenes from the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Which was one of the great movies that Harrison Ford made, and Harrison Ford has been in a lot of, starting with playing Han Solo in Star Wars. But yeah,
I don't remember that Harrison Ford played in one of those movies.
Well, he got his big. Had a little part in. What was the George Lucas movie about the teenagers that are coming of age, graduating? Ron Howard was in
American Graffiti.
Thank you, Michael. Harrison Ford had a part in that movie, and I think that's where George Lucas recognized Harrison Ford, but it was a small part.
Yeah.
And then he cast him in Star Wars, and the rest was history for him.
Yeah. Oh boy.
You think about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Simple movie, science fiction movie that became a cultural. I mean, today, if you go to Disney World, it might as well be called Star Wars World. I mean, in one of those parks. I mean, and the money they have poured into these Star Wars movies, but the Star Wars rides they have, this is called the Rise of the Resistance. It's really the most unbelievable ride at Disney World, but it all comes from that movie. I mean, here's a ride that you had people waiting for 2 hours to get on, knowing that there was about a 50% chance the ride was so complex that it was going to break down, and they were going to send you back home.
Well, you know, you're bringing up all these movies. What would you think is the most popular movie of our decade?
What decade? This decade?
Yeah.
The last decade?
Well,
I can't think of any.
All right. What is our favorite movie of all time?
Good question.
What is the
Casablanca?
what?
Casablanca?
No,
That might be it. It's either Casablanca or Godfather. For me.
You know,
I mean, I like all the Godfathers. I like.
that's Nick's favorite show is The Godfather, and he still makes you have to kiss his ring wherever he goes.
Shawshank Redemption's real high up there for me. That's one of my favorites of all time.
I liked it too.
You know what I say? That me too. I love it too.
But not one of my favorites though.
It's one of these movies that people discovered it belatedly, and it wasn't a big hit when it came out, but now it's considered a great movie. But that came out the same year, 1994, as Pulp Fiction, which I think is a great movie, and Forrest Gump. It was just a classic.
That was a good movie, Forrest Gump.
You think about those three movies right there, all coming out the same year.
And tell me the name of the town he lived in.
Rainbow or
no.
Rainbow. What do they call it?
It was like a knockoff of Bayou's Battery.
No, it's a knockout for Greenville, Alabama, but he called it Greenbow.
Greenbow.
That's right. Yeah, he was at Bayou's Battery when he was.
Yeah, that's right. And then you know there's a place down there that I used to eat at years ago, and that was pretty much where they filmed that part of it.
You would have arguments from film buffs, big film buffs and critics. You would have heated arguments over which of those three movies I just called out as the greatest movie. You'd have defenders for all of them. Forrest Gump won all the Academy Awards that year for what it's worth. But
the Natural's kind of a surprising movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Of it as a sports movie, but it was kind of dark. You know, he ends up getting shot.
Yeah, it was.
No, Michael. In the Natural, yeah. But
I'm going to tell you, Spielberg.
He didn't get killed, though, did he? He didn't get killed.
No, but I mean, it's just like you wouldn't think of that as a sports movie.
Steven Spielberg would be considered our greatest director of all time, probably. You know, and he's considered, E.T. would be one of his movies, Schindler's List, Raiders of the Lost Ark, on and on and on. But you know what I think his best movie is? And I think it needs to be in the top 5 or top 10 of all-time greatest movies. It was a summer blockbuster, and because it was such a hit, it doesn't get the critical acclaim it deserves. It's Jaws. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh, gosh.
Don't you think so?
It scared folks to death.
What do you think about the actors? You had Robert Shaw as Quint, Chief Brody, Richard Dreyfuss, even like the mayor. There was great acting and great writing, and all you think about is the shark. But the shark is actually not in the movie that much at all because what? Yeah. The shark was not working. It was
what now?
During the filming of the movie, they made an artificial shark, and the dang thing never hardly worked. And so they were sitting around waiting for the shark to work, and so they said, well, what are we going to do? We're spending all this money. And so they kept writing these scenes where you didn't have to show a shark. And those, like the scene where Quint talks about how he was on the battleship that went down in World War II, and they were in the water, and the shark started eating them.
How about the old steamboat? I don't know what kind of boat it was, but he's the one that got sucked in. That the shark just sucked him in. You know.
That was Quint. That was the actor, the great actor Robert Shaw, that was in The Sting. You think the ingredients of a movie are great story, drama, great actors,
but you know,
a great director. I know it's considered a very good movie, but I think it's underappreciated how fine that movie is.
You know, and all of them don't always have the best actors, but they have a better plot. Some of them have a much better plot than others, you know.
That was a great point. You know, that it was a great number. It's like The Godfather. It was a big bestseller written by a guy named Peter Benchley.
Yeah.
I read... You know, I was reading early on. I was drinking coffee early on, and as a child, I read The Godfather by Mario Puzo. I mean, there are scenes in there that a little 10-year-old boy should not be reading. And I read Jaws is about when I was about 10 years old. These are adult.
I'm on a movie site, and their top 10, the number one they say of all time is Shawshank Redemption.
Are you serious?
Number 2 is The Godfather, the first one. Number 3 is The Dark Knight, which is Batman. Number 4 is The Godfather Part 2. Number 5, I never saw this. And in 1957.
What's that? Say it.
12 Angry Men in 1957.
Just watched it the other day. No way. But it's a good movie, but no way it's in the top 10.
Schindler's List is number 6.
I like that.
I like these movies.
And you know something else about Chandler's List? It was done in black and white.
The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is number 7. Number 8 is Pulp Fiction. Number 9 is The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Golly.
Number 10 is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I loved it. Darren, how did that song go?
That must just be one person's opinion. Who is that guy that?
No, it's some movie, IMD. Number 11 is Forrest Gump. Number 12 is, I think, one of the best movies. I forgot about this one, Fight Club.
Well, hey, wait, stop. What do I say? Stop right there.
I've never even heard of it. What was it?
So IMDb is a good movie site. I go to it all the time. So of the 3 movies from 1994 that I just referenced that came out in 1994, they're all 3 in the top 11. You said Shawshank Redemption is number 1, Pulp Fiction I think you said was number 8, and Forrest Gump was number 11. 3 of the all-time.
Yeah, apparently they're big Lord of the Rings fans, because even number 14 is Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. And number 15, Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. Number 16, this was a good movie, The Matrix. Number 17, I can't believe I didn't mention this, was one of my favorites, Goodfellas.
I like that. I enjoyed that.
Goodfellas is probably in my top 5.
Yeah. That was with
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro as the head boss of the casino. Is that right?
No, he was.
No, that's Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta when they're gangsters about Henry Hill.
Okay, but Robert De Niro played in a couple of those movies, though, didn't he?
Yeah, Robert De Niro was Jimmy Kahn in Goodfellas.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Yeah, very good movie.
I enjoyed that.
Then Dad, I watched this movie with you several times. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that. Was one of my favorite movies.
Jack Nicholson has been. You know that was Nurse Ratched, the actress that played her. You know
she won the Academy Award.
Best Supporting Actress. You know what state she's from?
Where?
Alabama.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then after that, It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it needs to be
another black and white movie.
And then one of the creepiest movies of all time, The Silence of the Lambs.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a little of that. He's always spooked me, that guy.
And then another movie I feel like should be in my top 10 is Saving Private Ryan. I love that movie.
You know, that might be. I just bragged about Jaws, and it is great, and it needs to be in the top 10. But Saving Private Ryan is underrated too. That is unbelievable.
This is amazing here. Gladiator, which I like, Russell Crowe is really good, but they got Casablanca at number 42.
Nothing that interesting.
Gladiator, you're right.
What about Gone with the Wind? I figured that'd be.
You're right. I thought it was.
It has to put it in the top 10.
Yeah.
There's no way not to put Gone with the Wind in the top 10. And Casablanca.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. That's the first cuss word they ever let be on the TV.
Casablanca is. Let me tell you. Let's talk about Casablanca. And it usually is considered one of the number 1 or 2 or 3 all-time movies for this reason. These reasons. The cinematography, the black and white filming is just beautiful, and there's no script that's come close to being more clever and witty and perfect than. There are hundreds of quotable lines. It's like Shakespeare wrote it that came from Casablanca.
Yeah. I saw
other movies. Other great movies. Braveheart with Mel Gibson ranks real high.
Oh, that was really outstanding. You're right.
And then of course a lot of people like Titanic.
I watched it one time, but you know how sad the ending is. I leave it alone. I just can't watch it again.
You know, it is
top
good.
10 for me is Good Will Hunting with Robin Williams. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Good Will Hunting, yeah. How about
there's some of these Coen brother movies like Fargo or No Time for Old Men or No Country for Old Men, they need to be in there.
To Kill a Mockingbird's in there. Citizen Kane's in there.
Citizen Kane used to be the movie everybody talked about as all time.
Kill a Mockingbird was in black and white. You know, some of these movies were portrayed in black and white. Yeah.
You know, you can talk about war movies. Saving Private Ryan is probably the best war movie ever made. It is the best war movie ever made.
I think.
But I'll tell you another one that's underappreciated is a movie called 12 O'Clock High with Gregory Peck about the daylight bombing missions in World War II and the stress that these pilots were under. Is a very good
What
movie.
was that movie? It was a long movie.
I thought Platoon was a good war movie.
Platoon is outstanding.
The best one out there is the one that they've shown so recently. It was a long movie. It was about 4 brothers. Is that right?
That was Saving Private Ryan.
No.
Four Brothers was a documentary on HBO.
That was a documentary, but it was well done.
Well, the Saving Private Ryan was about, I think it was about 4 brothers, and 3 of them got killed in the war, and they were going to save the 4th one, so this family didn't lose all their children.
You know, my wife will tell you I love gangster movies.
Psycho is in the top 35 too. I hadn't seen that in years. And then Back to the Future was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Psycho overrated. The best Hitchcock movie, in Bill Rice, film critic's opinion, is North by Northwest. With Cary Grant.
Well, I'll tell you one, a gangster movie.
I can't believe the first Rocky's not in the top 30.
It needs to be maybe in the top 10.
All those Rockies were good to me.
But the first one is a real classic.
But I'll tell you this, though, I really like the one where he went up in the mountains and the guy said, Phil, I got to go to the drugstore. What's the name of that movie?
That's Rambo.
Yeah, it's Rambo, but it was called.
He also, the National Guard guy also says, "I didn't sign up for this."
I didn't sign up for this. but I can hear people doing that, saying that right there.
When the sheriff says, "Go in the woods and go get him," that's what he says.
Yeah, you would never think that Sylvester.
He said, "I got to go to the drugstore."
What about one of your favorite movies we talk about all the time? There's no Clint Eastwood movie, but Unforgiven needs to be.
Oh, it was wonderful. And my favorite.
It needs to be in the top 30 or 40.
Yeah. And I was building a house.
I hear no westerns in there, and I would put. I think the best western is Shane with Alan Ladd. It's not a John Wayne movie, but
I love Clint Eastwood. To me, he just by far the best. Just pure enjoyment.
I like a lot of Leo DiCaprio movies. I like The Departed. Yeah. I think Wolf of Wall Street, other than the cussing, is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And then another movie he's in is Catch Me If You Can, which is based on a true story.
Yeah, I like that. That was really good.
You got to say he is a wonderful actor.
But
you say what was the one where he got almost killed by the grizzly bear and had to crawl all the way back?
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't believe I didn't miss that. Legends of the Fall.
That is really good.
That was good. That was a great movie.
With Anthony Hawkins it's Tristan Ludlow was his name.
I'll tell you what, you can tell that this guy that I'm going to mention.
That's Brad Pitt, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, I thought Troy was a great movie. I thought that was a very well done movie.
There's more Quentin Tarantino's that need to be in there, like I don't know. I love the Kill Bill movie. I especially love Kill Bill Part 2 because my name's in it, but it's a great movie.
Yeah. How about
Raging Bull is pretty good too. I watched that with De Niro.
These are all this Martin Scorsese. He did Goodfellas. He did Raging Bull.
And a Raging Bull was also in black and white, I believe. Yeah, I just don't like movies in black and white, other than my favorite.
It's a Wonderful Life, To Kill a Mockingbird.
De Niro's pretty good. De Niro's pretty good in The Deer Hunter too.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. That was one of that movie that really brought him out.
There's a movie that was I haven't seen it in a long time. I like to rewatch it called I think The Mission. Have you ever seen that with Robert De Niro? Where he kills his brother and he's so guilt-ridden he wants to do penance for it, and that it got some critical acclaim when it came out, but that was another good Robert De Niro movie.
Okay, let me tell you.
How's Caddyshack not in the top 25?
This should be.
I loved it. I loved
comedies,
it. But you kept you laughing the whole time. Well,
what would be the top comedy? I mean, would you put?
Yeah.
A lot of people our generation love Caddyshack, but I mean, Animal House is fantastic. I like Steve Martin in The Jerk. Is I think real funny.
But let me tell you this: nothing get any funnier than the wait, what is it? I had it on the edge of my tongue.
Blazing Saddles.
No, it was oh shoot.
Anything with Bill Murray, Steve Martin, John Candy, any of those.
Those early movies, John Candy was.
It really wasn't a comedy, but one of the better Bill Murray movies, arguably the best Bill Murray movie, was Groundhog Day. Is a really good movie.
I love that movie. I watch it every time it's on.
It's well done.
Hey, how about who's this guy? To the moon, Alice, to the moon.
Oh, Jackie Gleason?
I love Jackie Gleason. Now, he could be funny, very funny, too. He and Norton, the way he treated Norton, I love those movies. I love those Jackie Gleason.
Well, that's a pretty good list, but, man, there's some bonehead selections in there, too, and there's some obvious omissions. Yeah. But anytime you do lists, you're gonna start these debates.
I'm going to tell you a good movie. Was the gangster movie, and he was a movie star. He was a movie star. He's a gangster. He founded.
You're talking about Bugsy.
Bugsy. I thought Bugsy was a good movie. Yeah, and pretty much everything he was in, Michael,
was good.
Was a good movie. You can tell that some. Why now?
Warren Beatty.
Yeah,
Warren Beatty was.
He didn't make many movies, but everyone he made was good. You're right.
That's
like Heaven Can Wait and
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde is a classic.
And he played in some good ones, and
he played Dick Tracy. That's back when he was courting Madonna.
Yeah,
she was in the movie too.
He's supposed to be a ladies' man. Everybody talked about him. He was a great ladies' man.
I'll give you some trip. You remember the movie Dick Tracy? His girlfriend, what's her name? Tess True Love. They always have this alliteration. She was real sweet. His girlfriend. Well, that actress had a real good part that was completely opposite of that in Lonesome Dove. She was the girl that left the sheriff in Arkansas and went out looking for this old sorry ne'er-do-well boyfriend she had, and eventually got killed on the plains by some Indians. But that actress was good. Can't think of her name.
We're going to go on our last break. We're going to be right back with more of Today in L.A. after this.
Test True Heart or Test True Love?
Premiere.
Big discount, big selection, over 140 pre-owned vehicles, and big, really big deals. It's the big sale, only at Premier.com. From Montgomery to Delton, the best used car prices are at Premier. Save thousands during our spring break sale. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
He was a short actor.
Back to our show, brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy, where they're dealing like never before. And of course, drive by and see all the beautiful new and used cars and trucks at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Now,
here's a top 10 of comedies of all time. This starts way back in 1935.
Wait, before you get started, I want to mention one more war movie. You mentioned Platoon, which was a good memory. That's a Vietnam War movie. Another really good Vietnam War movie is a movie called Full Metal Jacket.
I didn't like much of that.
Did you say?
I didn't like that war. I hated that war.
Well, yeah, we agree on that. But
it
was Brian De Palma who did Full Metal Jacket, and also Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
By Francis. No, I'm sorry. That's Francis Ford Coppola, the guy that did The Godfather.
And then,
it should be considered one of the great
Godfather movies. In that movie, y'all, you remember him? Boy, that was some real acting. Yeah, that was some real acting in that movie.
Apocalypse Now.
Boy, yeah, golly.
He was creepy in that movie.
Yeah, I know it.
All right, here's a list of top 10. This is just somebody's opinion. Groucho Marx, Chico Marx, Harpo Marx. Ignited the opera in 1935.
My little girl can do her eyebrows like Groucho Marx. I can't. Can you do it? Can you do it?
This is one of my favorite movies of all time, The Blues Brothers, 1980.
I love The Blues Brothers. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen this. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, 1975.
Very good, funny.
I saw this back in the day, Tommy Boy with Chris Farley, 1995.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, I've seen it, but I wouldn't put it in the top 10.
And most all of those guys have committed suicide, too.
Is Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber.
I like
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Caddyshack.
Love that.
That's probably number one.
And then I never saw this, Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Oh, gosh, I never heard it.
You never saw Dr. Strangelove with...
Now, Peter Sellers was in that role. Was very.
He played 3 or 4 parts in that movie.
Yeah.
Interesting here, I've never seen this. I didn't think it was that great. The Birds with Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, and Carrie Fisher is on this list.
Hey, do you remember that movie that Tom Hanks played in that he was a little boy and he?
Yeah, that's Big.
I thought that was an enjoyable movie.
And then when Chevy Chase, you got to have Chevy Chase on the list. The original National Lampoon.
I love it. Yeah.
No, that needs to be in there. Good one.
This is a comedy, but it's a dark comedy. One of my favorite movies. I can't believe I didn't mention this earlier. The Big Lebowski with Jeff Daniels.
That's the Coen brothers.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Oh, it's a great movie.
I watched it the other
night.
All right,
listen, we're going off the air, but let me tell you this: we got baseball here all weekend, starting tonight, Saturday and Sunday. Good baseball.
What about that blood drive?
We've got the blood drive from the Troy Regional Medical Center today.
11:30 to 4:30.
11:30.
If you want to give blood, do a good deed, go to the hospital and give blood today.
Exactly right.
Troy Regional Medical Center.
And go support any of these.
Also, all the football players coming in for the weekend, former football players. We're looking forward to seeing some of them.
A lot going on this weekend.
What?
A lot going on.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot to do in our town, and only brought to you by Southeast Gas in Andalusia, Alabama home office, and with numerous stores.
Call in Monday and tell us some movies we left off.